The painful obligation I have every time I join with you to tell you the overall numbers, and I will say every single time, these are human beings, these are families represented in these numbers, these are our neighbors. So in New York City today, as of the official numbers from this morning, the last official count that we have, 17,856 cases, almost 18,000 at this point. Now, at this point, our cases in New York City constitute about 54% of the total in the state of New York, and about 32%, almost a third of the cases in the United States of America. And very, very sadly, now the death toll from coronavirus in New York City has reached to almost 200. And that starts with ventilators. This is going to be the single most valuable item, the single most valuable piece of equipment in this fight ahead. And we can say, compared to last week, we've seen real progress. The 400 that came in yesterday from FEMA, the 2,000 we expect by the end of this week, on top of that from the federal government. A big step in the right direction, but only one step more we must receive, and we must receive quickly. And that's what we're working on every single day. The goal for New York City is 15,000 ventilators. So the numbers that we have from this week gets us about a sixth of the way there, and that is important, but we got a lot more to do. So it should have been one of the easiest no-brainers in the world for the U.S. Senate to include real money for New York City and New York State in this stimulus bill, and yet it didn't happen. And we know why, because Mitch McConnell wouldn't let it happen. I don't understand how any public servant could live with themselves if they deprive the cities in the middle of the biggest crisis since the Great Depression, deprived our state of the money we need. Giving New York City $1 billion out of a $150 billion pool that they provided for the entire country, but we are 1/3 of the cases in this country right now. Someone do the math down there in Washington in the Senate Republican majority. Someone do the math. They gave us less than 1% of the money that they were giving out to cities and states, and we have 1/3 of the cases in the nation. That is just immoral. I am going to call President Trump. I've spoken to President Trump several times about the stimulus bill and about what it means to New York City. I'm going to call President Trump and appeal to him to intervene